If you want to sell products and services to new market segments, Kelly McDonald can help. Kelly literally wrote the book on how to market to people not like you. Building on insights learned over more than 2 decades on the front lines of advertising and marketing, Kelly can show you how to reach new audiences with relevance and authenticity. Kelly's company, McDonald Marketing, has twice been named one of the top ad agencies in the country by Advertising Age. She's been featured on CNNMoney.com, SiriusXM Radio, Businessweek, and CNBC. Kelly's session, How to Market to People Not Like You, is based on the strategies and tactics found in her book. These insights are must-know information for companies of all sizes. Here's a sample of this popular session.
One of the things that I find that's kind of funny is when I talk about diversity, I do notice that people get a little uncomfortable. It's just my observation. And I've wondered why that is. I'm thinking, well, okay, what is that? Here's my theory. My theory is that if you were raised anything like I was raised, then you were raised possibly to believe that we are all the same. Right? That was like drilled into my head as a child. We are all the same, Kelly. And I don't believe that we are all the same. I think we're all equal, but we're not the same. There's a huge difference between being equal and being the same. So consequently, if you were born and raised to believe that we are all the same or equal, then doesn't it feel like maybe focusing on what makes us different from each other is sort of counterintuitive? Isn't that maybe a bad thing and we're not supposed to go there? But I don't believe that. As a marketing professional, I believe that that is the actual way to get into somebody's heart, their mind, and ultimately their wallet. That it really was back in the day about sort of throwing your net as wide as possible and hoping to catch as many people and fish as possible. But now, that's not working very well. I mean, and you all know that, you're marketing professionals. That's working less and less effectively all the time. You've really got to get to know your customer and get involved in their lives. Ladies, do you know Chico's? Yeah? You're like, I'm wearing Chico's, yeah. Chico's is a great example of this, about getting to know your customer and getting involved in their lives. And at Chico's, they know exactly who their woman target is. She is age 50 and older. She has a household income of $160,000 plus. So when they go into a new market for expansion, they find women who fit this profile perfectly. And they do what's called a market ride. They pay these women $1,500 to essentially let them sit in the back seat of their car and observe them on a Saturday running their errands. Seriously. Don't mind us. We'll just be back here in the back seat of your Camry with our laptop and our clipboard, observing you in your natural habitat, you know. And they tell these women, seriously, don't do anything different. Just do what you normally do on a Saturday. Just ignore us. Because not only do they want to see where these women go, they also want to see how long they spend at each store. And, you know, where do they spend their time? The first thing that they do is they go to the bank, get the banking done. The second thing that they do is they swing by the dry cleaner and they get the dry cleaning. The third thing that they do is they swing by the pet store and they get the 50-pound bag of dog food. So, literally, these women run 6 hours of errands on a given Saturday. That's because they're busy during the week. So they're running hours and hours of errands. These women also tend to be very social. And often in the middle of their busy Saturday, they will make plans to hook up with a girlfriend of theirs for either a quick glass of iced tea or a bite to eat, because they got to eat something, right, while they're running all over town. Now, ladies, think about where your Chicos are, and if they're not in an upscale mall, more often than not, they're in an upscale strip shopping center surrounded by all that retail that I just talked about and right next to a girly restaurant that serves soup and salad. It's so simple, it's brilliant, because Chico's basically says, we know this customer, we want to be in her lives. We don't expect her to come to us, we're going to come to her. A better example of knowing your target is Bank of America wanted to partner with AT&T to tap into the huge Asian population in San Francisco, which is one of the largest Asian markets in the country. So they did a co-promotion where if you opened up a new checking account at Bank of America, you got an AT&T calling card preloaded with calls to Asia. Not Latin America, not Europe, Asia. Because chances are you have loved ones in Asia. And if you were an AT&T customer, they gave you free checking at Bank of America. Their goal was to open 1,500 new accounts. They opened 22,000. How'd you like to be the person who's like, yeah, that was my idea. Yeah, that was me. Beep, beep, just bring the bonus truck right up to my desk, yeah. Feeling the African-American influence, you know, General Foods identified some key differences between their African-American consumers and their general market consumers. And one of the differences that they identified was that African-Americans tend to use cornbread rather than loaf bread to make stuffing. Now, I also think this is kind of a north-south thing, because I'm from the north. Yeah, and we make stuffing with loaf bread, and then I moved to Dallas, which is the South, and people were making stuffing with cornbread, and I was like, really, this tastes different, you know? But nevertheless, in the African American market, in fact, cornbread is the standard. But more importantly, the food itself, African Americans tend to refer to this food as dressing rather than stuffing. Well, this is a bit of a problem if the name of your product is called stovetop stuffing. It isn't stovetop dressing. So what do? Well, the first thing that they did was create a cornbread version of stovetop stuffing to meet the demands and needs of the African American market. And more importantly, they marketed it with a tagline that says, the box says stuffing, but the taste says dressing. So, who needs this kind of information? I believe that any company with a product or a service to sell can benefit from exploring new markets and new ways to think about diversity. Or any association whose members would benefit from learning about marketing to values, not just the typical demographic segments. Any organization that wants to connect their people internally or externally. So thank you very much. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and thank you for being here. Thank you.